beaut, isn't it? A 1956 Chevy Bel Air. And later on, we're going to have a look at some other classics on Motoring 93 when we browse through the Shelby shop in Milton, Ontario. And you know, when you look at a car like this, you can't help but think back to when we were young. And for some of us, that's longer than we care to admit. But you know, back in those days, it always seemed to me that the guys with the cool cars ended up with the cool ladies. Or was that just my imagination? Or maybe I was just watching too much TV.
Every time I went to the beach with Albert, some big muscle guy was always kicking sand in his face. It made me so mad. He tried all the exercises, went through the diet. I wonder whatever happened to him.
Albert's a Mustanger now. He bought a beautiful Mustang convertible, one of 3 Mustangs for $65. Nothing soft about this car, except the all-vinyl interior and the carpeting. With a big 200 cubic inch strong arm 6, he's got a tough new kind of action. And when he added optional power brakes, power steering, all of a sudden his whole life changed. Nobody's kicking sand at Albert now. We don't spend much time here anymore. Put a few kicks in your life. Take a Mustang out for a little road work. Mustang, Mustang, Mustang.
Now I ask you, why can't they make car commercials like those anymore? They've got to sell cars, but you know, that commercial really illustrates the fact that even back then, advertisers realized that cars do have a certain sex appeal, and they could even boost someone's image, not to mention sales. Now, advertisers aren't quite as obvious anymore, but the same can't be said for the many car shows that are held each year across the country. Along with a hot rod, you can always count on a bevy of beauties and even beauty pageants to help draw the customers. Bill Taylor is a longtime car enthusiast who writes for the popular wheels section of the Toronto Star. Now, Bill loves to attend car shows, but he's fed up with the bikinis, and he's even threatened to boycott his favorite shows as long as the girls and the beauty pageants remain.
Surprised me actually that in this day and age they're still doing this. You know, I thought car shows had gotten out of the whole chicks in bikinis thing. I mean, it's a family-oriented activity now. As a lot of women are active in it, and it's just inappropriate. So I wrote the column saying, hey, this is the show. This is what they've got. They've also got the bikini pageant, and this is where I make my stand. I won't be there, and I didn't go. I've been going to shows in England, for a quarter of a century. In the States, I guess the first show I went to was in '73 in New York, and as I recall, there certainly wasn't a beauty pageant. There may have been women around the cars, you know, scantily clad, but I mean, maybe it was more acceptable then, I don't know, but I don't think it's not acceptable now. It's totally inappropriate.
Well, I've always believed that in the past that cars and girls mix. And a lot of girls like fast cars, and I think that they add a little flavor. You know, you just don't want to have an all event for just men. You know, you got cars, women love cars, and guys love cars. And you know, I just think cars and girls mix.
I think it's completely inappropriate. I think people come here because they want to see the cars, and I think it's really gratuitous to have women walking around half dressed at these types of shows. I feel that that women who do it should be really examining what they're doing here, and I just disagree with it.
There you go, that's a little sunshine to you. Thanks, sir.
It's not really an exploitation of women if the women choose to do it, right? So they can't be saying you're being exploited, this and that, when we are being, you know, we're doing it because we like to do it, and if we feel we're being exploited, we wouldn't do it. So if they don't like it again, they don't have to look at it. That's all I can say about that.
We'd like a poster, $3 per poster, $5 for Polaroid.
Okay, Tracy, do you think that do women belong at auto shows, or what do you think about that?
I think it's great. I think cars and the car shows go hand in hand. If it's done tastefully, I think it's great. And I think that there's far too many more important issues in the world that should be discussed. Good. Feminism is, you know, such a minuscule little thing.
Personally, I find it very distracting. I find sometimes when I'm wanting to see a product, I can't get to that product because there are so many people around that are just busy looking at, ogling at the woman and taking pictures and stuff. I can't even get in there. I find it very distracting, yes.
I'd like a poster, $3.
I think girls and cars are synonymous. They both go together. Like, the girls bring the guys out to the show and the guys get their cars showing. So I don't see anything wrong with it. Not one thing.
I think there was somebody that wrote an article in the paper recently saying that girls and cars don't go together. But I'm sure if you've seen for yourself, the two go like a hand in glove. You can't do without them. And besides that, GM is still using girls to advertise their product. It might be a little bit more subtle, but it's still being done. You have the lady in the car, driving the car, telling people how well it handles, what a beautiful color it is, the interior is so perfect for her. That's using women to advertise. So it's being done. Muscle cars and women go together.
How's it work for you here? Pretty good business?
I think it's working great. Otherwise I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be making a calendar every year.
Right.
That's all I could tell you.
I think if he showed up without the girls in bikinis, he'd probably still get the crowds and the business if he had a nice car. You know, sure, if there are girls there, people are going to go and look at them, sure. I'd probably look at them myself if I was passing by. I mean, you know, we're all human. But if they're not there, is it going to make that big of a difference? I don't think so. I thought there'd be some reaction from women. I thought also from men. Strangely enough, there was nothing at all from men, which surprised me. And I guess it shows that the guys maybe realize that I'm right on this. Maybe.
So here's the question. Where were you 32 years ago? I know some of you weren't even a glint in your father's eye. As for me, well, I was in diapers, but found time to get Motoring TV off the ground. And today I like to think we've got one of the best automotive video libraries in the world. If you agree, please give us the thumbs up and also subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.